In this video, we're going to talk through how right-clicking can give you full control when dimensioning in Fusion. I'm Ollie, I'm an Autodesk certified instructor, and today we have 5 ways that you can adjust and control your sketch dimensions using the right-click menu. These are going to give you better control over exactly what it is that you're trying to do and how you dimension your parts. So let's jump straight in. If you've ever tried to dimension a circle, you'll know that Fusion will automatically add a dimension from the center point of that circle or arc to what it is that you are dimensioning. A lot of the time, this is absolutely fine and helpful, but if I wanted to define the dimension between this circle and my outside edge, I don't want to have to do that using the center of the circle, because that requires that I actually apply a diameter and then I have to do the maths with the box to figure that out. So what you can do is when you apply the dimension tool with D or clicking up at the top, if you first right click, you'll see an option for Pick Circle Arc Tangent. When you click on this, you'll see that a small X appears on your circle and you can dimension your circle from that tangential point on your circle. I can therefore go through and specify exactly what dimension I want to fit between the outside edge of my circle and an object. This also works really well when the dimension you're adding isn't vertical or horizontal. So if my circle is much larger, for example, and I want the smallest distance between this internal square and the outside of my circle to be a certain value, it's typically very difficult to do this because I can't give a dimension between these points, again, without doing maths. But again, using the same technique, I can create a dimension, I can right click and select the arc tangent, and this is going to give me a tangential angled dimension, and that's going to allow me to define exactly what gap there is between that inner square that might be a cutout and the outside of my circle to ensure I have the minimum required space. For our next right-click menu, we can look at the aligned, vertical or horizontal dimensions. Now, when you apply a dimension between two objects at an angle, Fusion will give you 3 options. They can be horizontal, aligned, or vertical. Now, this is normally fine because we can just use our cursor to select the one that we want. But there are some instances where it's very difficult to select the option that I want. In this example here, I have 2 circles next to each other, and the right-hand circle is lifted up ever so slightly because of a tolerance. Now, if I try to dimension between these 2 circles, you'll see it's very, very difficult to get that vertical dimension and click it where I want it to be. So what I can do is when I'm creating that dimension, I can right-click and I can override which type this dimension should be by saying I want this to be, in this case, a vertical dimension. That will force the dimension into that orientation, and no matter where my cursor moves, I'll be able to place that dimension into my design. For my third right-click menu, we can look at overriding the radius or diameter dimensions. Now, by default, Fusion selects which type it thinks is most suitable for the object you are selecting. So here, if I add a dimension to a fillet, it will default to being a radius dimension. But if I right-click whilst doing this, I can update my dimension to be a diameter dimension if that is what I would prefer to be entering, or if I'm pulling the information from a technical drawing. This way, again, I don't have to enter any maths, and I can specify it exactly how I want it. Now, the exact same applies to my circle. So by default, Fusion will select the diameter option, but if I right-click, I can override this and make it a radius dimension to specify what the radius should be for my circle. For the fourth menu, we can look at driven versus driving dimensions. Now, many of you will have seen a pop-up appear saying that you have over-constrained a sketch. This typically happens when you have added a sketch object or a dimension to a sketch where that object's length or diameter has already been defined. What this is essentially saying is that that length there has already been defined by a combination of other objects. In this case, my 50 and 215mm dimensions. Now, often what people will do at this point is either cancel because they realize they don't need the dimension, or you can create a driven dimension. And a driven dimension is just a dimension that doesn't drive anything. It's not actually controlling anything, but it's purely a number that you can read and see if you want that information. What you might not have known is that we can create dimensions to be deliberately driven, even if they are not fixed. So in my example here, I could choose to create a driven dimension between two other objects. So let's say I unfix this here and this can move. I can still make the distance between these two objects a driven dimension by creating the dimension, and before I confirm it, right-clicking and selecting driven. This will mean that the dimension is added, but it's not actually controlling the object. And you can see as I move my sketch object, the information is updated. This means that you can reference that information and see what your dimension is as it changes due to other influences. It also means that in your parameters menu, you are given that new dimension as an object. So you can see here, this linear dimension 87 is that value. So you can reference that when using your parameter systems. So creating driven dimensions, even when they're not necessarily required, can be really helpful to show you information and reference in other parts of your design. In our final right-click menu to go through today, we're going to look at diameters versus lengths. Now again, Fusion is generally pretty smart. When you dimension from an object, a sketch object, to a center line, you'll notice that by default, it will put a diameter value into your dimension. What you might not know is this is only toggling an option that you can do anyway. If I right-click at this point, I can toggle on and off the diameter dimension. And I could say that actually I just want this to be a normal linear dimension, or in this case, a radius. I can actually do this the other way around as well. So even if I haven't set something as a center line, I can select two objects, and before I confirm that dimension, I can right-click and toggle it as a diameter value. This way, when I go in and enter my value, even without the requirement of a center line, we can specify what this value should be. Fusion's sketch dimension tool is incredibly smart, and it will typically adapt to the situation that you need. But sometimes, as we've seen, you just want that little bit more control to specify exactly what you want it to do. That is where the right-click menu when dimensioning comes in, and these 5 ways allow you to control your sketch dimensions fully. If you found this video useful, drop us a like down below. Comment which of these 5 options that you are using the most or that you didn't know about. And make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any future tips that we post here. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.